Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading Sunday worship service. My name is Allison Sillers. I'm a member of the worship arts and tech teams, and my pronouns are she and her. Today we gather to create a space to grow in spirit, relationship, and compassion, where we nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and help heal the world. We welcome you, no matter your age, gender identity, sexual orientation, differing abilities, cultural or religious background, and spiritual beliefs, or political perspective. If this is your first time with us, we are so happy you have joined us. Please visit our webpage to find out details about our church community and to find the contact information for Melissa Martin, our Member Services Coordinator. Later in our service, we will officially collect the offering, but for now, I'll take a moment to remind you about our October Share the Plate recipient. Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. Our Share the Plate recipient for the Sundays in October is Safe Haven's Interfaith Partnership Against Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Elder Abuse. For the past 30 years, Safe Havens has been working with diverse faith communities in metropolitan Boston and beyond. They provide training, resources, technical assistance, and webinars to help faith leaders learn how to respond safely and effectively to domestic and sexual violence and elder abuse. Please give generously to our Share the Plate offering to support both Safe Havens Interfaith Partnership and the mission of UUCR. If you are online and watching this service during its initial broadcast at 10 a.m. today on October 9th, please join us after the service for conversation on Zoom. If you are attending in person, please join us in Fellowship Hall after the service for conversation and light refreshment. On behalf of all the staff and volunteers involved in today's worship, I want to thank you for gathering with us this morning. You belong here. Maybe just for the next hour, although we hope for longer. You belong here, and we are glad that you are joining us today.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Laura Solomon, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am your contract minister for this year, and it is a privilege to serve this community and the world with you. This morning, we are going to talk about the movie Encanto. I know some of you have the songs running through your head as soon as I say it, and some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's okay. What we are doing here today is talking about courage. We're talking about patterns and love and culture and history and complexity. So take a breath with me. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or joining us online, we are here creating this courageous, creative, multi-generational experience together. Let us worship. In the movie Encanto, the flame of the candle holds the magic of the family. I invite you to consider the magic and power of community as we light our flaming chalice. Please join me in sharing the words in your order of service. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. I invite you to join me in our children's affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists, the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Please rise in body or in spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 288 in the gray hymnal, All Are Architects of Fate. like to invite forward any kids that are here with us who would like to participate, although I will let you all know that this is going to be participatory for everyone. So truly a time for all ages. Thank you, Jay. Oh, Jay and Will. Oh, I feel so loved. Oh my gosh, amazing. So who has seen the movie Encanto? Amazing, amazing. Yes, I have seen it too, and I love that movie so much that I wanted to do a whole service about it. You'll hear some music from the movie later too, and you can sing along with Jay. So do you remember the house in Encanto? You guys remember the house? Yeah? Amazing. What was special about the house in Encanto? What was special about that house? Gavin? It was magical, exactly right. But what happened to the house? It's alive, that's right. So what happened to it? It started to move, that's right. It started to shake, it started to crack. And then what made the house become magical again? The candle made the house become magical again. What else? The candle is so powerful. It absolutely is. What else? It was powered back by them all coming back together. That's exactly right. So love and forgiveness made the house come back together again. So the cracks in the foundation of the house happened because there were secrets that were hurting the family. And today we're talking about our foundations, the things that make up who we are and give us a sturdy base. So we're going to build a tower that represents community or society, and Allison is going to help me. What goes into a strong and healthy foundation in a family or in a community like your school or here at UUCR? Work, yeah, absolutely. Good work goes into it. What else? Kindness, absolutely. Kindness goes into it. Gavin? Peace, absolutely. What else goes into a strong foundation? Love goes in it, absolutely, that's right. So we have got a strong foundation going for our house here. But I bet you can think of some things that would hurt our strong foundation too. What would hurt our strong foundation? Giving up or people just kind of bailing on things that they said they would do? Absolutely. Gavin? Not treating people like they want to be treated? Absolutely. Jonah? And then the house would crack. Exactly. The house would crack. Secrets could hurt the house's foundation. Lies could hurt the house's foundation. So we're going to keep building our house in a little while. We're going to build some other magical houses, and I'm going to need your help again then too. So in the meantime, I want you to listen for things that are going to help us make strong foundations and things that might make our foundations start to crack. Okay? You all can go back to your seat now, and you'll come up again in a little bit. We take time during our service to light our candles of community, peace, and justice. We light our red candle of community to signify our interconnection. Whether here in the sanctuary, online, or even watching this service later in the week or month, may the light we kindle ripple out to you. We light our blue candle of peace for all places, here and around the world, where people live with the threat of war and violence. We light this candle for all people and places living through the effects of climate change and extreme weather, most particularly Puerto Rico and Florida. And we light our yellow candle of justice. May all people everywhere live their lives in freedom, and may we do our part in the work for justice and liberation for all in our global community. We take this moment to pledge ourselves anew to the work of love. May these flames burn bright and strong in each of us. Will you pray with me? God of many names, we give thanks this morning for all of life's joys. We give thanks for all those whose love and dedication, money and talent give this church a strong foundation. For all the sorrows and worries we hold this morning. For health concerns, upcoming surgeries, and new diagnoses. For loneliness, and mental health struggles and loss of loved ones, we open our minds and hearts and prayers. Spirit of life, help us remember that although none of us is perfect, though we all at times cause harm, though we all make mistakes, each and every one of us also has a blessing for this community and the world. Let us remember that always, always, there is a love holding us that will not let us go. Amen. If you would like to light a candle of joy or sorrow, you are invited to come forward now. So we're going to keep building our houses up here. If anyone would like to come up and help me work on building this second house, but again, I'm going to need some feedback from everybody as we build this one. So you remember that we were building a house with a strong foundation, and we decided that things like love and respect and trust are all important building blocks for our foundation. So now we're going to build a house that represents our country. And to do that, we're going to focus on our history. If we were going to focus on all of American history, we'd be here for weeks and months. So instead, we're just going to focus on the holiday that's happening tomorrow. Do you know what holiday is happening tomorrow? Yeah. It is Columbus Day. Amazing. Thank you. So the people who founded what is now the United States wanted to start a country where they had freedom of religion. What do we think about freedom of religion? Does freedom of religion constitute a strong foundation? Does that go into a strong foundation? Thumbs up for freedom of religion? Absolutely. Thumbs up for freedom of religion. Love that. But what about this? The people who were looking for freedom of religion are the same people who started colonizing the U.S. That means they were some of the first people who started taking the indigenous people's land and even killing the indigenous people. How do we feel about having that in our foundation? Thumbs down for that. Exactly. That's not a very loving foundation to build on, so we have to take a block away for that. So those people who came to this country also wanted to make sure that everyone in the country shared their beliefs. But then they felt that that their particular beliefs should give them the right to own other people's land. Do we add blocks or take blocks away for that? Take blocks away from that, exactly. So people started celebrating Columbus Day all the way back in 1792 because they felt it was important to celebrate the person and the people who first sailed across the ocean to come to this country. They wanted to remember where we started and all the great things people had done. Are things different and better now than they were in 1792? Do we get a thumbs up for things that have happened since 1792? Yeah, I mean, on the whole, I think medicine is a whole lot better than 1792. Transportation is a lot better. Donuts are better, absolutely. This is why we need teamwork. I did not think of donuts. But calling it Columbus Day, celebrating a person who caused harm to a lot of indigenous people, a person who did a lot of good things but also caused a lot of harm, we've got to take a block away for that, you think? Yeah, we've got to take a block away. In 1991, though, people said that what we should really celebrate was the indigenous people who were actually here first. We want to acknowledge everything we have been able to do because of their knowledge and skills, and we want to acknowledge the harm that was done to them. I think we give blocks for acknowledgement because it's a step in the right direction, right? We're starting to acknowledge some of the hard things that make our foundation not quite so strong. But giving a block for that doesn't make it better. We're still missing a lot of those blocks that we could have had that we had to take away because they were not part of a strong foundation. But we know that our goal is to build a house or a family or a country with a strong foundation. So we're careful to use the strong, healthy blocks and to notice when some of our blocks are starting to crumble. That happens sometimes. Sometimes blocks that used to look strong start to crumble, and that's okay. What's important is how we respond when we realize our blocks are crumbling. What's important is that we act on those crumbling blocks, and we don't just keep building on top of them. What would happen if we kept building on top of crumbling blocks? It would fall down, exactly. That would not be a strong foundation. All right, we're going to have one more part of our Time for All Ages later, but for now, you can go back to your seats.
Don't be upset or mad at all. Don't feel regret or sad at all. Hey, I'm still part of the family madrigal, and I'm fine. I am totally fine. I will stand on the side as you shine. I'm not fine. I'm not fine. I can't move the mountains. I can't make the flowers bloom. I can't take another night up in my room waiting on a miracle. I can't heal what's broken. Can't control the morning rain or a hurricane. Can't keep down the unspoken, invisible pain. Always waiting on a miracle, a miracle. Always walking alone. Always wanting for more. Like I'm still at that door, longing to shine. Like all of you shine. All I need is a change. All I need is a chance. All I know is I can't stay on the side. Open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes. I would move the mountains, make new trees and flowers grow. Someone please just let me know, where do I go? I am waiting on a miracle, a miracle. I would heal what's broken, show this family something new. Who I am inside, so what can I do? I'm sick of waiting on a miracle, so here I go. I am ready. Come on, I'm ready. I've been patient and steadfast and steady. Bless me now as you blessed us all those years ago when you gave us a miracle. Am I too late for a miracle?
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Trevor. I love when we're able to be creative and make new things happen. So even if you haven't seen the movie Encanto, you have likely heard some of the buzz around it, whether because of the many awards it was nominated for, or because of the music, or just because of the rare cultural representation depicted in the Disney film. Encanto has made quite a stir among individuals of all ages. For those who have not seen the movie, it is set in Colombia and tells the story of the Madrigal family. In this family, everyone has been given a magical power, a gift. Everyone except for Mirabel. Over the course of the movie, we learn that the magic is in danger, so the house starts to crack, and the magic candle starts to go out. But Mirabel manages to save the magic by bringing the family together and starting the process of healing old wounds. The hit song from the movie is "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
Bruno is Mirabel's ostracized uncle, whose gift is the ability to see the future. Spoiler alert, the only way the family can come back together, the way the house reforms its strong foundation, is by telling the truth and talking about hard things. I find it fascinating and telling that this song has resonated with so many people. While the catchy tune is certainly a piece of it, I also believe that we have a very human hunger to talk about the things we collectively decide we cannot or should not talk about. It's important to note that I come to this movie from my perspective as a white, cisgender, queer, Jewish woman, a viewpoint that misses much of the cultural perspective and nuance of the Colombian culture, or at least the Colombian culture as it's shown to us in this film through the eyes of its Disney creators. What I do know, though, is the way my Jewish family has coped with many Brunos. The way we have adapted and learned to make it through without talking about many of the incredibly hard and challenging things we have encountered, both as a family system and culturally as Jews. My bubby, my grandmother, would often greet us by saying, "You look so good, Baruch Hashem, tell me what's good. It's good to be good, right? We only talk about good things." We only talk about good things. In other words, we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
When we take an honest look at our history, whether our family history or our country's history, we often encounter a lot of Brunos. As a minister and as a psychologist, I have found family systems theory to be an incredibly helpful framework for understanding many of the systems of our lives, our family systems, but also other systems we may be part of, our workplaces, for example, our denomination, our congregations, and our culture. Family systems theory, developed originally by Dr. Murray Bowen in the 1960s, enables us to look at any system and the ways events or stories maintain the balance or disrupt it. An analogy I like to use is that of a hanging mobile. Ideally, a mobile hangs in perfect balance, but if you take off a piece, if you change it and move the pieces around, it will become unbalanced. That doesn't mean it can't become balanced again, or that it may not actually be better balanced in another configuration. It just means that every shift changes the way all the elements of the system hang in the balance. Most systems, I would say all systems, have a thing they don't talk about, a Bruno. This is often wise and even adaptive for a time. There's no shame in not talking about the hard and painful things. But there comes a time when Bruno becomes the thing that's causing the unbalance in the mobile, when the secret or the pain or the thing that cannot be discussed holds so much weight and power that it prevents balance and health within the system. It is then that things need to change. I remember at one particularly memorable Passover dinner in my family, a generations-old family secret was revealed. There was palpable swinging and shifting back and forth as all the parts of the mobile, all the people in the family system tried to accommodate new information and a new understanding of their family. What also happened, though, was that once those pieces slipped into place, some of the current ways of functioning made more sense. The habits and interactions of particular family members suddenly had new context. We were able to hang in a new balance, a balance that was moving towards greater freedom and health. Of course, family systems theory is much more complicated and nuanced. And it's important to note that it was developed by a white man who was looking at the inner workings of systems from his perspective. We still need systems theories that reflect the diversity of systems in our world and the myriad ways health can manifest in different cultures. And, regardless of culture, the things we won't talk about hold us back from freedom, liberation, and love. In talking about Columbus Day, naming the hard truths of our culture's history includes not only naming the genocide of the indigenous people, but also naming the harm perpetuated by continuing to celebrate the colonizers. It includes talking about the societal resistance to changing the name from recognition of the colonizer to recognition of those colonized, changing the name from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. Yet it is only through naming the hard things and holding on while the mobile swings and seeks to rebalance, it is only through that that we can build a strong foundation. Let's talk about our Brunos.
Our congregation exists and thrives through the gifts of those who call this place their spiritual home. If you are here with us in the sanctuary, you may put your gift in the collection plate as it goes by. Otherwise, you may make a gift online or send a check. Please give generously as you are willing and able to our Share the Plate offering to support Safe Havens and the mission of UUCR. If this is your first time with us, your presence is gift enough.
To all who greet us in love and yearning, spent every evening and morning learning to hold each other, their hunger burning, to navigate the world that turns and never stops turning, together in this world that turns and never stops turning. To all who greet us against the weather, the wind grows colder, but they're together, they hold each other, no way of knowing, they're all they have for shelter, and something inside them is growing. They long to stay together, but something inside them is growing. Ay, oruguitas, don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know it's your time to grow, to fall apart, to reunite. Wonders await you. Just on the other side, trust they'll be there and start to prepare the way for tomorrow. Ay, oruguitas, don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know it's your time to grow, to fall apart, to reunite. Wonders await you. Just on the other side, trust they'll be there and start to prepare the way for tomorrow. Ah, 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 ah. To oruguitas, cocooned and waiting, each in their own world, anticipating what happens after the rearranging, and so afraid of change in a world that never stops changing. So let the walls come down, the world will never stop changing. Ay, mariposas, don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know it's your time to go, to fly apart, to reunite, wonders surround you. Just let the walls come down, don't look behind you, fly till you find your way towards tomorrow. Ay, mariposas, don't you hold on too tight, both of you know it's your time to go, to fly apart, to reunite, wonders surround you. Just let the walls come down, don't look behind you, fly till you find your way towards tomorrow.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, so I want to invite our kids up for one more time. We're going to build some houses together. And this house is going to be the house of our Unitarian Universalist history. When I think about our Unitarian Universalist history, I think about many things that gave us a strong foundation. We need blocks for people who aspire to tell the truth. That gets a block. People who are committed to loving one another. That gets a block. People who try to act in responsible ways, that gets a block. But I'm curious about what you think about these next pieces of our history. Listen carefully. So before there were Unitarians in the US, there were Congregationalists. Congregationalists believed that everyone in the church should have a vote and a voice. What do you think? Is that a strong foundation? Everybody having a vote and a voice? Thumbs up? Thumbs up for a vote and a voice. All right, we get a block for that. They also believed that the power lies in the people of the congregation. I think that's a great foundation block. What do you think? The power lies in the people of the congregation? Thumbs up for that. Oh my gosh, this is getting so tall. Unitarians believed in democracy. How about that? Does that get a vote or get a block? We vote for that, absolutely. And they were one of the first denominations to ordain women. What do you think? Does that get a block? Oh, we get applause for that one and major thumbs up, for sure. But some Unitarians and Universalists didn't agree that slavery was wrong. What do we do with that? Thumbs down, exactly. We take a block away for that. It's not a very strong foundation. Throughout history, Unitarians and Universalists and Unitarian Universalists have fought for refugees and for civil rights. What do you think? Do those get blocks? Yep, totally. But there have also been times when white Unitarian Universalists have made decisions that have not supported Black Unitarian Universalists or other people of color in our faith. And white people have had a really hard time talking about some of the bad decisions that were made. What do you think? Do we give blocks or take blocks away for that? Yeah, we've got to take blocks away for that too. So look, we have this strong foundation that we're building, and it's really great to see the way our Unitarian Universalist history helps us build something nice and strong. But what would have happened if those other blocks were in there? If those other blocks were strong, if we didn't have to take out those other blocks, it would have been taller. We would have had a much taller building. The building would have been different. And it's sad to think about what we've missed out on because of the cracks in our foundation. But I know that we are all working hard to create the strongest, most loving foundation we can for our Unitarian Universalism and for our country today. And I am so glad to be part of building that strong foundation with all of you. You all can go back to your seats.
So this morning, I'm Melissa Martin, and I would like to welcome you to learn about our congregational life. Today in our congregational life, we share thanks to the Keelings who donated this morning's chancel flowers in honor of all the volunteers running this year's Kris Kringle Fair, which is next Saturday. And I share these invitations with you. Our campus is reserved this week for our Kris Kringle Fair this Saturday. That means all meetings and church activities will be held virtually, including Monday evening social crafty fun drop-in from 7 to 9 p.m., Buddhist meditation at 7:15 p.m., and links for both are in the resource guide and details can be found in the newsletter. This week is all about supporting this Saturday's Kris Kringle Fair. Our Kris Kringle Fair chair, Martha Moore, has been working tirelessly on the logistics of this event for much of 2022, and as the big day approaches, she finds herself unexpectedly unable to be here for setup today, necessitating us to set up a little bit more to help get this done. So we hope, if you are able, that you could stay and join in the setup magic. Thank you to those who have stepped up in Martha's absence. For those who've been gathering their donations, you can begin to drop those off from 2 to 6 p.m. this afternoon. Donations will also be received Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on Friday, baked goods will be received before 6 p.m. During the week, several areas still have shifts to fill to help sort and price items. Let us know where you have an hour or two. On Friday afternoon, there is an opportunity to help lift the big tent at 4 p.m., which is exciting if you've never done it. And finally, there are many places that need coverage on Saturday to make the fair a smashing success. Please see the newsletter for volunteer opportunities. Those with us in person this morning, please stop by our fair raffle ticket table to grab your raffle tickets before joining in the fair setup, including our beautiful quilt. Thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life. Now we welcome you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, We'll Build a Land, number 121 in your gray hymnal.
Dissolves all mourning, oh, we'll build a promise.
Please join me in the words of chalice extinguishing, which are printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. May we go into the world and build communities of love and justice, giving thanks for the strong foundations laid by those who came before us, and adding strong and stable bricks for the generations to come. May it be so. Amen.